In 2017, I wrote an essay with 25 reasons for why many Muslims haven't left Islam yet. If you take a look at reason 15, the ecosystem halo effect, you'll see why many people have stayed with Islam for so long, even though deep down, most of us have had problems with it. The reason is that many modern Muslim communities in the West de-emphasize the problematic aspects of Islam. For them, the controversial minutia intrinsic to the religion and its history is merely a backdrop to the repackaged theology which they emphasize, and which is what actually informs their day-to-day lives. The cultural and communal benefits of being a member of the Muslim community often outweigh any inclination to engage in critical thought regarding the truth claims and the history of Islam. I suspect that many Muslims mistakenly harbor the belief that if someone leaves Islam, it must have been because such a person preferred chaos over order, meaninglessness over purpose, or sin over virtue. Perhaps these caricatures are even what went through your mind when you first heard the term ex-Muslim. But may I humbly suggest to you that this is just your indoctrination at work. Such gut reactions to the concept of ex-Muslims are likely due to the countless sermons that you've been fed to dismiss those who reject Islam. Many of us ex-Muslims value the same things that you do. We value building healthy, prosperous, and ethical societies. We value truth and honesty. We want our children to grow up happy, healthy, and safe. We want them to have educational opportunities that unlock their full potential. We want them to have fulfilling lives and families of their own. I know many Muslims, including Ahmadis, who stay only because there's a structure and a system set up that they're already plugged into. It's simply momentum, convenience, and comfort. Many born Muslims also don't want to rock the boat with their parents or with their extended families and friends. There's an existential dread that can come from leaving religion. And yet, at the same time, there's also something deeply inspiring about not living a lie. There's something spiritually fulfilling in noticing and acting upon the realization that we have the chance to improve the fate of humankind in the here and now. As human beings, we crave identity, community, and purpose. In fact, we need these things to truly thrive. Most religions give us all three ready-made and neatly packaged. That does not mean, however, that these religions are all true. It just means that they're useful, at least in this regard. What I am advocating for, however, is not that we abandon these very human needs, but rather that we rebuild the foundations to better serve them. I propose that we remove the supernatural religious foundations in favor of more honest ones. The best that our legacy of philosophical thought the world over has to offer. I do think that on the whole, post-Enlightenment religious communities that promote secularism and pluralism do actually provide a lot of value to their members, despite their flaws and the holes in their theology. I believe that we needn't dismantle these community relationships as we challenge their foundational theology. We may begin the transition to more honest foundations by simply acknowledging and accepting that the underlying substrate is suspect and that the Quran is a human text. Eventually, these congregations, like those of some churches, will transform in place into humanist congregations. To those of you Muslims who are questioning, or who in secret no longer believe, I want you to know that there are so many of us who have been pretending to believe, and for far too long. Many of us have been and still are office bearers in senior positions within the mosque and within the Islamic councils of our respective communities.